First of all, it is necessary to establish a clear timeline between the end of the Goku Black arc and the start of the Tournament of Power arc. For this revision, the events involving Zamasu and Goku Black conclude around February of the year 780, while the Tournament of Power itself takes place in September of the year 781. This means we have a gap of 1 year and 9 months to explore, and in this video, we will cover everything that happens before the recruitment sub-arc. After the defeat of Zamasu and future Trunks leaving the timeline, Earth settles back into a quite peaceful period. For the next 6 months, Goku, as expected, continues his training, although it becomes a bit more sporadic. After all, he still has his responsibilities as a farmer, which means balancing his passion for fighting with his day-to-day work. Nevertheless, these 6 months were still quite productive for Goku. As established during the Goku Black revision arc, Vegeta perfected Super Saiyan Blue before his rival. However, after training for 6 months, Goku has caught up to Vegeta and is now much more accustomed to using Kaioken in combination with the Super Saiyan Blue form. Vegeta has also spent a considerable amount of time devising a new way to further increase his power. After all, with Goku finally mastering the Super Saiyan Blue form and surpassing him once again thanks to the Kaioken power-up, Vegeta is highly motivated to at least match Kakarot's strength. The most straightforward approach is to push the Super Saiyan transformation beyond its current limits, essentially mimicking the effect of Kaioken and also being very similar to what they did long time ago during the Cell arc, when they enhanced the Super Saiyan form. Although this is a simple concept, it is incredibly challenging and risky for the body to push the Super Saiyan Blue transformation beyond its limits. However, with his characteristic determination and combat genius, Vegeta has managed to unlock a new evolved form of Super Saiyan Blue within just a few months. Of course, he hasn't fully mastered this form yet, but it's clearly a critical step towards his goal. However, with Bulma's pregnancy, Vegeta has significantly reduced his training intensity. It's also worth noting that even Gohan has continued to train sporadically with Piccolo since the resurrection of Frieza, as mentioned during the revision video. As time passed, it is now September. After half a year without any real battles, Goku has mostly relied on the occasional sparring matches against Vegeta. His training has started to feel stagnant, as he struggles to make any significant gains in power. Realizing this, Goku concludes that his only path forward is to resume the divine training with Whis. After contacting the Angel, Goku arrives on Beerus' planet. The Saiyan resumes his training with Whis, but it's clear that he's a bit rusty after so many months without any real battles. At one point, Goku considers challenging Beerus, but the God of Destruction is currently more interested in eating and shows little desire to fight. It's then that Goku recalls the tournament Shino-sama mentioned after witnessing the match between Beerus and Champa not too long ago. In fact, Goku still has the Omni King's device and starts thinking about using it. This immediately catches Beerus' attention, and he quickly approaches Goku to stop him from doing anything reckless. A tense exchange follows, with Beerus clearly worried about Shino's unpredictable nature. He demands that Goku should avoid contacting the Omni King, while Goku argues that Shino isn't as frightening as Beerus claims. Both sides make reasonable points, but they remain at an impasse. Despite the warnings, Goku remains confident, believing that Zeno-sama deserves some entertainment. However, Beerus refuses to take any chances. He shifts into a more aggressive stance. declaring that if Goku won't listen to reason, he will simply have to force him to stop. Rather than backing down, Goku smirks, excited at the prospect of a real fight. But Beerus warns Goku that he's still far from being a serious match for a god of destruction, and promises him to crush him quickly this time. Before the situation escalates further, Whis steps in and proposes a compromise. He and Beerus should accompany Goku to Xeno's palace to ensure the Saiyan doesn't do anything inappropriate. Whis acknowledges that Xeno can be unpredictable, but simply proposing a tournament shouldn't cause any major issues. After a moment of hesitation, Beerus grudgingly agrees, reasoning that Xeno did express interest in a tournament before, and it might be better to handle this situation directly. With that settled, Goku uses Xeno's device to teleport to the Omni King's place, together with Beerus and Whis. Upon arriving, they are greeted by the Grand Priest, who calmly asks the visitors to state the purpose of their visit. Whis steps forward to explain, mentioning that Goku has a request for the Omni King. The Grand Priest reveals that he was in the middle of discussing a very important matter with Xeno, but agrees to let Goku speak, noting that Xeno seems to enjoy the Saiyan's presence. As the three visitors enter the palace, both Xenos light up at the sight of Goku, clearly pleased to see him. After some small talk, Goku gets to the point and asks Xeno about the tournament he mentioned previously. Throughout this exchange, Beerus remains extremely nervous, fearing that Goku might say something reckless, but he can only watch in anxious silence. When Goku brings up the tournament, both Xenos are visibly excited. However, they casually mention that they were just talking about erasing many of the existing universes. Naturally, Goku and Beerus are stunned and confused by this sudden revelation. The Grand Priest quickly steps in to clarify, explaining that the Xenos were discussing erasing the 8 universes with the lowest mortal levels. However, the Xenos then realize if they erase these universes, they won't have enough participants for a proper tournament, leaving them uncertain about how to proceed. The Grand Priest suggests a straightforward solution. Hold the tournament first, and allow the winning universe to continue existing. Present Xeno quickly agrees, but future Xeno, having never seen a tournament like that before, seems uncertain. To resolve this, the Grand Priest proposed holding an exhibition match right now, giving future Xeno a chance to experience the excitement firsthand. It's worth noting that, despite his initial fears, Beerus realized that Goku's bold request might have actually saved their universe from instant destruction. Without Goku's timely intervention, their universe might have been erased without a fighting chance, a fact that Beerus silently appreciates. The Grand Priest proceeds to summon the gods of all 12 universes, intending to share the news about the upcoming multiversal tournament, its purpose, and to conduct the exhibition match. The gods quickly gather at the palace, including a Hakaishin disciple from Universe 11. As the situation is explained, many of the gods begin to suspect that Beerus might be involved, given his history of causing trouble. Their suspicions are only reinforced by the fact that Beerus is already present at the palace, adding to the tense atmosphere. To the surprise of everyone present, the Grand Priest announced that the participants in the coming exhibition match will be the gods of destruction themselves, except the ones that are from the 4 universes with highest mortal level. The rules are straightforward. It will be a free-for-all battle. To win, the participants need to completely defeat their opponents or eliminate them by knocking them out of the arena. However, there is one significant restriction. The use of destructive power is limited. Hakaishin, are only allowed to use Hakai to destroy matter and bodies, but not souls directly. Beyond this, they are free to fight without restraint, as long as they don't kill their opponents. The battle will continue until one god remains standing, and as a reward, the winning universe will be exempt from the Tournament of Power. After providing these instructions, the Grand Priest quickly creates a massive arena crafted from the hardest material in existence and reinforced with powerful enchantments. The arena also possesses self-repairing properties, designed specifically to withstand the ferocity of a battle between the Hakaishin. The Grand Priest creates a powerful defensive barrier, ensuring their safety as the gods of destruction take their position in the arena. Some Hakaishin, like Kitela, immediately begin blaming Virus for provoking Xeno into this dangerous situation, accusing him of bringing the threat of universal destruction upon them all. However, Virus snaps back, saying that if it weren't for his universe, they wouldn't even have a chance to survive, referring to Goku's timely request for the tournament. Despite this, most of the other Hakaishin remain unconvinced, causing Virus to abandon any further attempts at reasoning and instead focus on preparing for the battle. It is clear that he will likely be the main target. The Grand Priest begins the countdown. Goku, watching from the sidelines, is naturally the most excited of all the spectators, eager to witness an all-out battle between the Hakaishin. This is an excellent opportunity for him to get a clear sense of the power gap between himself and the gods of destruction. After a few tense seconds, countdown reaches 0, and in an instant, the Hakaishin launch into their fierce battle. Kitela wastes no time and is the first to directly engage Virus in close quarters combat. The fearless rat god is immensely skilled, using his small size and agility to constantly weave in and out of Virus' reach, relying on feints and quick backstabs to keep his opponent off balance. Virus responds with precise counters and blocking each attack. Their brief exchange is intense and surprisingly even, but Kitela isn't the only one holding a grudge against Virus. The god of destruction from Universe 3, Mule, activates his stealth mode and attempts to sneak up behind Virus. Normally, the gods of destruction don't team up, but this time they have a common target. With so much on the line, even they are willing to bend their pride a bit. Mule strikes from behind, but Virus narrowly sees the attack and manages to dodge by leaping away. However, as he moves through the air, he finds himself in the line of fire, as Helles from Universe 2 takes the opportunity to unleash a powerful key arrow from her bow, aiming directly at Virus. The cat god is unable to fully dodge the incoming attack and is forced to quickly reinforce his arms with destruction energy to block it. The arrow itself was also imbued with the Hakai energy, and without a similar level of destruction power, it would have pierced straight through Virus, likely inflicting a fatal wound. Virus knows he can't keep this up forever. Despite his strength, even he can't hold out for long against multiple gods of destruction. He realizes it's time to change tactics. He focuses his mind and body, preparing to tap into Ultra Instinct. Though far from mastering the technique, Virus knows that even a rudimentary form of Ultra Instinct will greatly enhance his defensive capabilities, significantly improving his chances of enduring the fight. As the chaotic battle continues, Virus fully focuses his mind, allowing his instincts to take over. Kitela, Moscow, and Helles constantly press their attacks, but Virus now dodges through their strikes with impressive skill, successfully dodging and deflecting each blow. It quickly becomes apparent that their coordination is lacking. Their attacks frequently clash with each other and their movements are poorly synchronized, leading them to trip over each other in their attempts to hit Virus. The addition of imperfect Ultra Instinct from Virus only exacerbates their disarray, turning their poorly coordinated assault into a chaotic brawl. At this point, they will do better by just fighting individually against Virus. Tidra and Rumshi also join the fray, attempting a synchronized strike, but they end up accidentally hitting each other as Virus slips past their attacks. Meanwhile, from a distance, Belmont starts carelessly launching waves of energy cards, supposedly aimed at Virus. However, his wild, unfocused barrage creates as much trouble for his allies as it does for his target, forcing the other Hakaishin to dodge his errant blasts. Frustration quickly mounts among the gods as they shot at Belmont to control his attacks, only for the clown to disingenuously apologize before continuing his reckless assault. Despite the poor coordination of his opponents, Virus gradually starts to feel the pressure of facing so many powerful adversaries at once, his defense slowly being chipped away by the sheer volume of attacks. Champa, who has been standing idle for most of the battle, finally decides to step in and shockingly decides to assist his brother. He catches Moscow and Rumshi off guard, attacking them from behind and briefly knocking them out of commission, giving Virus a much-needed moment to recover. As he moves closer, Champa quickly reassures Virus that he believes his story about not being directly responsible for the Tournament of Power. After all, Champa himself was present when Xeno first expressed his interest in holding a multiversal tournament, inspired by the earlier contest between the two brothers. The twin gods momentarily set aside their difference, pulling their power to unleash a combined blast of destruction energy aimed directly at the remaining Hakaishin still standing in front of them. The attack discharges quickly, giving the other gods no time to coordinate a proper counter. The siblings cat gods unleash their combined attack, resulting in a massive explosion that shakes the entire ring. However, their efforts are partially thwarted when Sidra managed to raise a powerful Hakai barrier just in time, absorbing the brunt of the blast and protecting the other gods. While this feat drains a considerable amount of his energy, Sidra confidently assumes that his allies will handle the rest, allowing him a moment to recover. Unfortunately for him, things do not go as planned. From behind the group, Belmont begins powering up while having a sinister grin in his face. With a sudden flick of his hand, as if casting an invisible rope, an unseen force wraps around the other Hakaishin, binding them tightly and restricting their movements. Belmont casually tells the others not to take it personally, explaining that he's simply doing whatever it takes to ensure his universe's survival. Without hesitation, he creates countless of energy cards, each one filled with destruction power, and unleashes them in a relentless barrage. The cards, though small, are extremely sharp and enhanced with Hakai energy, slicing through even the powerful bodies of the Hakaishin. If left unchecked, this endless onslaught will gradually wear them down, potentially eliminating each of them if they cannot break free. The trapped gods quickly attempt to counter the restraining technique. Mule changes his machine to defensive mode, bracing for impact as the cards strike his reinforced armor. Sidra raises a personal barrier, focusing his remaining energy on defense. However, the most effective response comes from Rumshi, who uses his incredibly powerful trunk to unleash a deafening sonic wave. The blast paralyzes everyone within range, including Belmont, and disrupts the energy field, maintaining the restraints, freeing all the Hakaishi. By this point, the gods of destruction have become far too frustrated to maintain any semblance of alliance. Given their clashing personalities and wildly different fighting styles, most of them abandon any pretense of teamwork, turning the match into a true free-for-all. Helles quickly takes advantage of the chaos, firing a volley of destructive arrows at the seemingly paralyzed Belmont. The arrows strike him directly, appearing to pierce his body and send him crashing to the ground. seemingly defeated. Amid the confusion, Kitela burrows into the arena floor, emerging with a surprise attack aimed at Champa. The strike nearly knocks out the cat god, who is forced to retreat. Kitela then shifts his focus to Virus, eager to settle their long-standing rivalry. Meanwhile, Rumchi and Moscow, whose ideological differences have long fueled a rivalry, engage in a direct clash. Both gods unleash their characteristic abilities, each trying to prove their superiority over the other. At the same time, the two most exhausted participants, Tidra and Champa, began fighting each other. In the other side, Helles cautiously approaches the fallen Belmont, creating a spear of ki as she prepares to deliver the finishing blow. She pauses for a moment as she remarks on the shameful tactics of the clown, criticizing his lack of honor. Despite her harsh words, the seemingly unconscious Belmont remains silent, his body motionless on the ground. Then, without warning, Helles suddenly spins around, flashing at what appears to be empty air behind her. In an instant, Belmont appears from thin air, his sinister grin stretching wide as he applauses Helles. The clown god compliments the goddess for noticing his trick. It turns out that Belmont had narrowly avoided Helles' arrows before, creating an illusory clone to take the hit while he made himself invisible, waiting for the perfect moment to strike when the other Hakaishins were sufficiently weakened. Helles frowns, stating that she has no respect for his cheap tactics, and that a deity fighter like him stands no chance against her. Belmont merely chuckles. He confidently says that this is a battle for survival, and clinging to foolish ideals will only guarantee her destruction. If she wants to win, she needs to abandon her morals and use every trick she has. Without wasting another moment, Belmont creates a large amount of illusory copies, surrounding Helles and cutting off her escape routes. He ominously declares that he still has plenty of tricks up his sleeve, ready to overwhelm her with endless unpredictable attacks. Shaken, Helles responds by manifesting an armor and shield of ki, basically accepting the challenge head-on. The true duel between these two Hakaishin is about to begin. As the chaotic battle continues to unfold, Goku watches with utter fascination. Despite his current power, he realizes that he still has a long way to go before truly matching a god of destruction. However, not everyone shares his excitement. The Xenos, despite witnessing this grand display of divine power, remain somewhat unimpressed, having seen the Hakaishin compete in countless games and challenges before, including Xenos' own hide-and-seek tournament. The spectacle has already lost much of its novelty for them. Sensing this, the Grand Press offers the Xenos a more entertaining alternative, one that he suspects they will enjoy much more. The Xenos quickly agree as their attention shifts away from the ongoing clash. Then, with a simple snap of his fingers, the Grand Press halts the entire battlefield. In an instant, all 8 of the gods are completely immobilized, as the destructive clash is brought to an abrupt end. As the Hakaishin stand frozen, it becomes clear that the battle had reached a stalemate. While none had gained a decisive advantage, it is noticeable that Belmont, with his cunning tactics and deceptive techniques, had sustained the least damage among all the others throughout the whole battle. Had the fight continued as it was, the Clown God might very well have emerged as the final victor. Despite the intense battle, the Grand Priest thanks the Hakaishin for their efforts, but due to Xenos' lack of interest in their fight, none of their universes will be exempt from the upcoming tournament. Instead, the Grand Priest announces the new plan: an exhibition match between the two universes with the lowest mortal levels, Universe 7 and Universe 9. He instructs the Supreme Kais of these two universes to quickly select 3 representatives each for the match, giving them just 1 hour to return with their teams. From Universe 7, Goku is an obvious choice. and he and Shin will teleport back to Earth to find the remaining two fighters. Hello guys, has been a while since my last video, and I will leave this last section of the video to make a quick update of why it took so long uploading this one. First of all, and this is the main reason why I've taken so long, is that I was finding and making a sprite for each character that is going to participate in the Tournament of Power, including their transformations, and yes, even the ones I made up in the past videos. They are not great, but they will serve their purpose as visual aid. And basically, I will be using them very similarly to how I did it in this video with the Gods of Destruction. Ideally, it would have been great to make an actual pixel animation of the fight, but I barely have any experience with animation and it will take a lot longer to make a video like that. So basically, I came up with this idea of using just one sprite per character, so you can at least see how a transformation looks like, and so on. So yeah, and also I show everything else like if it were an RPG video game. So right now it's the best I can really do, so I hope it is entertaining enough knowing the limitations I have. Imagine that I spent like a month or something doing the sprites of all the characters. So just imagine how long it will take for an actual animation. Anyways, I will leave all the sprites for you guys to download if you want. They are not great, but you might want to use them for something, or you can even improve them, especially the ones that I will be using in future videos. So now that I have the sprites ready and have a better idea about how to edit the fights in future videos, I'm hoping I will be uploading more consistently from now on. So yeah, that's it. You guys have any question, petition, or would like to help me out in some way, you can always reach to me in the comments or just send me an email. So yeah, that's about it. Goodbye guys. I hope you're having a great day or night. And if not, I pray that it gets better. So yeah, see ya guys. Till next time.